The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O, the R, the K. Look yourself in the face. Look yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, are you giving 120% every day? Every play? Give me 120 or don't give me nothing at all. The guy you competing against, you haven't outworked him. You've not outworked the person next to you. You've not out-hustled them. You've not out-rhymed them. You've not outdone them. You're not locked in. Bring all your passion. Bring heart. Every single game, every single play. Put forth 120% or don't ask nobody to do nothing to you. The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Monday morning, baby. Monday morning. When we wake up and we got a market that we don't know if it's a bull or a bear, right? We're going to start answering some of them questions today. Going to start having a look at the market, the charts in general, specifically Bitcoin. We're going to have a look at the Bitcoin chart. We're going to look and see what that Bitcoin chart did in the last bull run, kind of where we are now. Got to answer the question: are we in a bull or a bear market, right? So everybody over there on TikTok, as you're coming in, tap that screen, type in the chat whether or not you think it's a bull or a bear market. Over there on X and YouTube, do the same. Go ahead, type in the chat whether you think we're in a bull market or a bear market. We'll look at the charts. We'll look at the Bitcoin chart in particular. We'll have a look, and it's a hell of a Monday morning. I'll tell you that. We're going to get into it, though. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash that share button on YouTube, smash that like button, smash that share button on X. If you're coming in on TikTok, keep smashing that like screen. And right in the chat, y'all, are we in a bull or are we in a bear? Because that's the question we're going to start talking about today. Because what a lot of people don't realize, we've been talking about this on a lot here on this channel, is we're in a danger zone, right? We're in a danger zone because of the macroeconomics that everybody is failing to want to look at and say, that these could be affecting the markets, specifically, where retail's at right now. Where retail's at in this world, and how bad, inflation is hurting people, really, really bad, and, the debt, we've been talking a lot about the debt. These are the reasons that we talk about it. And we got to get into a little bit about cryptocurrency as well, and about how different I believe that this market is compared to the rest of the markets. But are we in a bull? Are we in a bear? Type it in the chat. Let me know. Are we in a bull? Are we in a bear? Tap that like screen over there on TikTok. Just keep tapping it, man. Let's get them likes up. Let's do what we got to do. I see you guys rolling in like crazy over there, man. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are rolling, and keep tapping that like screen over there on X. Tap that like screen. Tap that share screen. On YouTube, tap that like, tap that share as well. Let's get these people up. Let's let them know we're up. Let's let them know we're at it. Good morning, Junior. Good morning, Selmo. Selmo, the market looks like trash right now. Yes, it does. But let's fucking go. Let's get into this thing. Let's do this thing. XRP to 1. What's going on, my brother? How the hell are you, man? How the hell are you, man? Good morning to you, Ken. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my brother. It's let's do this, man. Let's do this, Ken. Good early afternoon to you, Ken. I know you're probably eating lunch right now over there in the EU, but let's keep this thing up. Let's type in the chat, man. Are we in a bull? Are we in a bear? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and then we'll let the charts speak for themselves, right? You know, so type in that chat, bull or bear. But yeah, morning. The charts, the market itself, man, just absolutely took a crap dive yesterday. It looks like TikTok over there kind of thinks that we're in a bull market. Where does X and YouTube live? Where does X and YouTube live? Are we in a bull or are we a bear? It's a weird time. XRP to one, it is a weird time in the market right now. Well, it's not necessarily a weird time because we've been talking about this for a while here. I think we're in a different time. I think we're in a different time in the market right now, especially in the U.S. And I think a lot of this is going to come to light. Looks like crypto market has turned into the stock market. It has to a point. It has. Ken says bull. Ken says bull coming. Bull's coming. We're gonna have a look. Let's go ahead. Let's have a look. Let's get into these markets, man. Let's get into the markets. Let's quit playing around. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Asia, the Asian markets, man, they closed pretty good. They closed pretty strong today. They didn't do much for crypto, but they closed pretty strong today. The European markets over there, where my man Ken's at right now, over there, absolutely blowing up, looking green, looking good. The United States stock market looks good, looks really good this morning, looks solid, looks strong. Nvidia is killing it right now. All the tech stocks are absolutely killing it right now. But look at gold. Gold, it continues to come up, continues to rise, continues to come up. People are running for safety right now. Outside of the tech stocks, people are really running for safety. When it comes to the stock market, gold continues to rise. I think people can kind of see what's coming on the horizon for us, in this market. I don't think that these markets are in a good place, right? I think the people that are investing, that have the money to invest, are going to continue to invest, and a lot of the retail that we're waiting to come into the market, they just don't have the expendable funds to be able to come in, and that's the problem. That is the beginning, middle, and end of the problem. We are in an institutional driven run right now. An institutional driven bull run right now is what we're in. It's pretty obvious what's going on with the manipulation. Stocks futures tick higher. Obviously, Nvidia's smoking it, man. Up to 202. Microsoft's killing it. A lot of these tech stocks are just killing it. Apple was smoking last week. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the cryptocurrency market. Let's see what we got going on over here, because obviously that's what we're all here for. But you got to look at the macro. You got to look at the overall market. Got to know what's going on in the world in general if you want to know what's going on in crypto, because it all runs together, right? Senator Loomis is out there saying that the cryptocurrency bill, is going to be passed by the end of the year, and we'll see. Which are we'll see. I mean, XRP is in a funky situation right now. I'll tell you, XRP is in a real funky situation right now, because the catalyst that they should have when it comes to ETFs, they may not have, because I don't know if the appetite is right for ETFs right now. I don't know if the appetite is right. You look at the Bitcoin ETFs and the Ethereum ETFs, they're leaking. They're leaking right now. The Solana ETF is leaking. The HBAR ETF just came out and just took a crap dive. And we knew that the Litecoin ETF just was going to come out and take a crap dive. And Canary Capital is coming out with the first XRP ETF, but one of the first XRP ETFs. And their track record's not good for launching good ETFs. I got tons of XRP. What you got, man? What you got, Selma? I got tons of XRP last year. Around the time for 50 cents. Yeah, I did too. So like the XRP that I have, I'm sitting on from a low bear market, right? So it's got to come down quite a ways. Hey, thank you for the heart over there on TikTok. Appreciate you. The XRP that I do have, it's got to come down quite a ways for me to be upside down in it. But and I haven't bought any more. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't bought any more since the bear market, because why am I going to cost average up, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Cost average down, not cost average up, doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, but the appetite for the ETFs right now in the stock market isn't really high, and I don't know. And the one that, Canary Capitals, I mean, XRP's got to get them big ETFs out there. They have to get the 21 shares. They got to get some of the bigger players to get their the XRP ETF launched in order for it to really take off. So these smaller ETFs, I mean, they'll bring some volume, but they're not going to bring the volume. There's a difference between some volume and the volume, right? So we'll see. But they're in a pretty 50-50 spot, right? You want the ETFs, but at the same time, do you want them? Do you want them released when the appetite's not right? I don't know. It's like you got to have them, but do you want them now? I guess is the question. Do you want them now? But yeah, so we got the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index sitting at 30. We're still sitting in fear. Got altcoin season sitting at 25 out of 100. Definitely took a 5-point step backwards. Got the market cap sitting at $3.6 trillion. Definitely took a step backwards of about 2.5 trillion. The ETF inflows and outflows for Bitcoin on Friday were not great. They were actually to the negative $289 million, call it $290 million even. Definitely outflows there. Here's the problem with the altcoins right now, guys. Here's the problem with your Solanas, your XRPs, your Ethereums, and any other altcoin that you own. Doesn't matter what it is. There's a fundamental problem that you have with your altcoins right now that says that they're not going to run for a while, right? And it's your Bitcoin dominance sitting at 59.7, got up to 60% last night, came down to 59.7 today. Usually during a bull run, your Bitcoin dominance comes down to 40, between 45 and 40%. Ethereum dominance runs and takes off, and which then allows your altcoins to run. With this issue going on right now, not an issue, it's great for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance is not getting down to 40 this cycle. There is way too much money. There's way too much ETFs. There's way too much inflow into Bitcoin. Way too much institutional investors. It's not getting down to 40, right? And that's why I've been saying to you guys for about a year now, 55 and below is that mark, right? 55 and below is that mark where we could possibly see an altcoin season kind of take off, because we're in this new era of crypto. And crypto right now is very much institutional driven, right? It's very much institutional driven. And so you're not going to see the dominance of Bitcoin drop down to 40 like it did before. And there's more money in the market now than there was before, right? So when we stopped the last bull run, it was about $3.2 trillion was the top, right? That was the top. That was the absolute top. Well, we're over that now, right? So there's actually more money in crypto, and some of your projects, your lovely projects, altcoin projects that we have here, decided that they were going to mint more tokens during the bear market, because that was the right thing to do, as so they thought, as so they would think, right? So now you have more money in the market, you have more tokens in the market, right? And then you have a bunch of meme coins out there that have spread the liquidity so thin that it's just all over the place. In the last bull market, your meme coins, they were concentrated into a certain number of meme coins that actually ran, all right, actually ran and made a difference. Now they're so, your new projects don't stand a chance, right? Unless they have an extremely amount, a lot of money to market themselves and get themselves out there, buy back supply, burn supply, do all of that stuff. Your new tokens don't have a chance, right? Because of that, right? So when you think about this, uh, and just think about it in a bigger market cap standpoint, right? Because you have a bigger market cap and you're trading sideways on this bigger market cap, it takes more money to move the market than it did before. And that's the issue that crypto has right now. You have your institutional investors that are in, and they continue to come in and they continue to run the market. What you don't have is your retail investors to push the market cap up even higher and bring more capital into the market, right? Because with a bigger market cap, think about it like a big, huge, like water wheel, right? The bigger the water wheel, the more water it takes to push the wheel around, right? So the bigger the market cap of crypto, the more money it's going to take to push that wheel around, right? And right now, what happens when you have a water wheel and you don't have enough water for it to go, for it to push? It just stands still. And that's kind of where the crypto market is right now. It doesn't have enough water in it to push that wheel around. So it's just kind of standing still. And until you get an influx of capital into the market, that wheel is just going to stand still. You know, every once in a while, you might get enough in it to make a turn, or maybe 2 turns, or maybe 3 turns, but you don't have enough water flowing into the market just to turn that water wheel consistently, right? So that's really the problem that I've been trying to get to you guys for a while now. So and when you do get enough capital to turn the wheel once or twice, what happens is, because it's institutional money, they come in and they grab it back out, right? They grab it back out, they put it back in, they grab it back out, they put it back in, they grab it, and we're playing this game, this back and forth game, with the market. So this is kind of, that's where we are in crypto. Then they will use crypto to recess to they're gonna use crypto to offset their balance sheets, to run the financial system, right? But when you talk about utilizing crypto to run the financial system, how much of this big money is going to allow retail to make money? You know what I'm saying? So that's the pull and tug that you have, right? Like, how much, because big money, they've started to infiltrate crypto. They've infiltrated crypto now to the point where they're basically running the market, right? So how much money are they going to allow retail to make? Because, like I said, it doesn't matter to them. We're in this steady game of pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, right? So the difference between retail money and institutional money is if Bitcoin goes up $2,000 or $3,000 in a day, they've made millions. If Bitcoin goes up $2,000 or $3,000 in a day for the retail side, if you're lucky enough to have Bitcoin, you might have made $2,000 or $3,000. So when they take their profits out, they're taking millions. You're taking thousands. And it's the same with XRP or HBAR or Chainlink or any of the other ones, right? They're taking huge amounts of capital outside of, huge amounts of profit off the table when they sell them products where you're taking pennies. So there's a difference between their pump and your pump. And that's what you have to distinguish between is an institutional pump is very much different than a retail pump. An institutional pump only has to go up, 2 to 3%, and they've made a crap ton of money. Retailers, we're still talking about a 10x. I'm not sure that your 10x's live in this market anymore. They won't. They will regulate it. They're going to regulate it. They're going to manipulate the market. So that's why I kept telling you guys, take profits, right? Because everybody's holding on, waiting. I kept, how much heat have I taken for saying to quit holding till Valhalla because Valhalla never comes? I say that because you see where the market is and you see where the market has to go. And how does the market get there? Well, when we talk about the last bull run, we're talking about a huge amount of retail money that was invested. You're talking COVID payments and COVID-19 payments. I can't really say that word. They'll ban me, and they've been banning channels like crazy around here. You're talking a lot of them payments. You're talking increased unemployment payments. You're talking PPL loans. You're talking all of this money that was influxed into the system from retail that's just not there right now. It's just not there right now. A reason is coming with a recession. We're already in a recession, Selma. We've been in a recession for a while. They're just not calling it a recession. But the United States, or people around the world, have been in a recession for a while. We're living through a recession already. They're just not calling it a recession. You got Perpetual sitting up here at $848.8 billion in longs and shorts waiting to be liquidated. This continues to be the other problem in crypto, right? Is I'm a leverage trader, so you guys know how I feel about leverage trading, right? I love it. I love leverage trading. I think it's a beautiful thing, right? But not everybody plays the game the smart way, right? And here's the other issue in crypto is that there's more leverage in the market than there's ever been, right? There's more leverage traders right now in crypto than ever before. And the problem is that half of them have no idea what the fuck they're doing. It's the beginning, middle, and end to that problem, right? And what it does is it allows the market makers to manipulate the market, right? Because people don't know what they're doing. They're leaving their liquidity sitting on the table, giving themselves very little room to move. And the market makers are literally just coming up and liquidating the market, which here's the thing. If you don't do dumb stuff, then the market makers have a hard time to liquidate you. If you're out here playing the game stupidly, then you set yourself up for liquidation. My case in point right here. We are looking at, it doesn't even matter what liquidation chart we're on. We're on Binance BTC. Let's look and see what's going on over there at Binance right now. 108.6, 108,600 on Bitcoin. 100x long, $33.68 million just on one exchange. $33 million in 100x longs sitting up there at 108. Oh, we're going to 108.6. We're going. Bitcoin's going to go to 108.6. And it's going to go up there and it's going to wreck all them longs, right? Because at 100x, you don't got a lot of move. You don't got a lot of room to move and get out of that long. So it's going to wreck. It's going to wreck them. And you'll see people on here crying the blues. Oh my God, I got wrecked. Oh my God, this happened to me. I can't believe I lost all my money, blah, blah, blah. And then you ask them, oh, how'd you do that? Well, I had 100x long on Bitcoin. And you just look at them and go, you fucking deserve to lose all your money, man. You deserved it. Like when you play that game, you just deserved it. You know, it is what it is. I got no sympathy for you. But yeah, so there it is. I mean, that's just on Binance alone, right? Come down here, you know, you come down here, you look over here, you got 108.65 over here on the rest of the exchanges. You just look at the amount of liquidations that are sitting out there. OKX, 37.6 million. You got Bybit, 93.6 million. I don't know. What do you want me to say? You know, what do you want me to say? The market makers are going to come up there and they're going to grab that liquidity. So plan on Bitcoin going to 108, right? But let's get an overview of where the market is, right? The market right now on the hour looks really good. It looks green. It looks like it wants to recover. Remember what I said, Bitcoin 108.6. Remember that level. Remember that level. 108.1 right now. When I woke up this morning, Bitcoin was at 107, right? 108.1. What do you think that the market makers are? This isn't retail money coming into Bitcoin, moving it up to 108 from 107 to 108. This is institutional money. So what do you think's going on right now at 108.1 and you were at 107 this morning? What do you think's going on right now? The market makers are coming in. They're going to push the price of Bitcoin up. They're going to liquidate the majority of them people, right? And then they're going to drop it back down, right? It's going to come back down because you'll have these same idiots that get liquidated up here come in and now say, oh, we're going to short the market, right? So Bitcoin will come back down. It'll liquidate them 100x leverages down there. And then you'll have a bunch more idiots come in and say, I got wrecked at 100x, so I'm going to put a 50x on it now. And then they'll go back up there and they'll wreck them again. So you see how this thing is unfolding, right? You see what's happening right now, right? 108.2. Look at it. That thing's running right now. It's not running because retail money is making it. This is institutional money manipulating the market at its finest right here in front of your face, right? This is what's happening. I just showed you what's happening. This is what's happening. See, now a lot of people will get on here and show you this. They'll be like, oh, yeah, you know, like, oh, we're going to the moon. And this is why, because it's this macro thing that's happening, or it's this ETF that's happening, or it's this project that's coming out that's going to send us. No, it's not. BTC is running strictly because they're going up there to wreck them longs, period. You know, and that's just keeping it 100 with you. You know what I mean? That's what's happening right now. But you want to know who absolutely took off this weekend was Dash. And we talked about Dash on this channel. And I said to you guys, ZBEC is running, and ZBEC is running hard. Privacy is a big deal right now in crypto. Privacy is a big deal. And I said at $45, we talked about this on Friday. I went back and looked at $45. I said to you guys, watch out for Dash, because Dash is doing what ZBEC's doing, but it's cheaper. It's up to $89 right now. Got up to like 93 this weekend. So true. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. So yeah, Dash made a hell of a run this weekend. ZBEC busted through $420, $420, I think, before it started to come back down here at 399. 399 made a nice move up to around 420. ZBEC's a hot token. ZBEC and Dash are hot right now, man. Because it's all about privacy, right? So you gotta follow the meta, right? Follow the meta, know what's going on, know where people are putting their money. You got Ethereum sitting at $3,722 right now. Ethereum got smoked this weekend. Not even this weekend, just last night. XRP, $2.40. It's starting to make a little bit of a recovery in XRP. When I woke up this morning, this thing was sitting at 230 something. So definitely starting to make it up, make a move back to the upside. Solana got dusted off last night, literally dusted. It lost $10 just overnight since I was sleeping. I went to sleep. It was at 186. I woke up. It was at 176. I was like, damn, Solana got dogged last night. Cardano back down to 157. I mean 57 cents. I wish it was $1.57. Cardano's at 57 cents. Cardano's got to have something going on over there. They need to do something. Chainlink, $16 right now. Again, making a move. When I woke up this morning, it was 15 cents. I mean $15. That thing was getting killed. Stellar underneath 30 cents. This I think right here is the buy. This right here is the buy. Stellar. It's lagged the market. So when we talk about projects, right? Like Stellar, XRP, HBAR, stuff like that. Stellar has lagged the market. And not only has it lagged the market, but it took another drop down yesterday. So it's underneath 30 cents. This is an amazing buy here. Sui is the other one that I think is a steal on this pullback. On this particular pullback, I think Sui's a steal. Sitting here at $2.18. It got beat up pretty bad. And we buy cryptos, and my philosophy is I always like to buy cryptos that are beat up, that have good use case, that are beat up, that you know is going to come back, right? And that's the only way you can really maneuver a market like this, is buy them when they're beat down, and buy them when they're beat down pretty bad, and then just let them run up. XCL strong. Ken, let's see. We'll pull that project up right here. Let me get to my DEX tools. Is it moving? Is XCL moving? I still tell you guys, proceed with caution with this one, man. It's 9 million. It's moving. It's moving up. It's moving up. But remember what happened last time this thing started to move. They dumped it on your head. And don't be surprised if they dump it on your head again. Take your profits. I'm not against anybody being in this project. It's a low market cap project. Probably has great upside. I heard that the protocol was out. I heard that the protocol actually worked. Regardless of all that, make sure you're taking your profits off the table on this one. Because they've shown the ability to dump on your head, and they'll show the ability to dump on your head again. So make sure you're taking profits. Play this thing up and down. Buy it up and down, up and down, up and down. Don't just hold it to Valhalla, right? Don't let these guys fool you and say, oh man, this thing's going on all these tier 1 exchanges. It's doing this, it's doing that. Just take your profits, right? Just take your profits. And then if it goes there, then you're in it for a ride, and that's cool. And if it don't, it doesn't matter, because you're still riding profit. I love Stellar, but its ownership is too essential. Well, here's the thing, XRP the one. Their ownership is centralized over there in Stellar, but so is in XRP. There's 12 validators pretty much that run the XRPL that basically, there's like 12 or 13 validators over there who basically run the whole show over there on the XRPL. The thing about it is people would say that blockchain is decentralized and people can't really track you. Blockchain is centralized. Blockchain centralized. Until you can on-ramp and off-ramp without anybody knowing where you on and off-ramp, or they can't figure that out, you're centralized. Because it doesn't matter how much money you make in DeFi, you still have to off-ramp that money somewhere. You still have to off-ramp it. And once you off-ramp it, you're still centralized. Call it what you want. People play that game of that word gymnastics game between centralized and decentralized. Everything is centralized because you still have to on and off ramp somewhere. So, because think about this for a minute. Just think about it. If you're on ramping through Coinbase, let's say you on ramp through Coinbase, right? You take your Coinbase, you send your Ethereum over to, whatever wallet you send it to, or your XRP or XLM, wherever you send it to, right? There's a trail instantly to your DeFi wallet from your Coinbase account to your DeFi wallet, right? And you say, "Oh man, I don't want to connect these ones, so I'm going to move it to another DeFi wallet, right? Or I'm going to split it, right?" It doesn't matter. There's still a trail between that wallet and these wallets, right? And yeah, you can send them through mixers and all that stuff and then mix it up. Let's say you send it through a mixer and you mix it up and it comes out the other end and you're sending it to 3 or 4 different wallets. So now nobody knows where that money came from. Well, guess what? Guess what happens? Now you have to get that money to your bank account, or you don't really have money until it's in your bank, right? You don't really have it. It doesn't exist. It's in stable coins, or it's in a project, or it's in something. It just doesn't exist. So now you have to off ramp that money somewhere. So now you go back to Coinbase, you take them wallets, and you off ramp your money. You've just centralized all your money again because you have to centralize it to there to get it to there. So you're really never really truly decentralized. So it's a myth. It's a myth. It doesn't exist until you can get to an on ramp and an off ramp that you don't have to go to your bank account with. It doesn't exist. It's a facade. It's a talking point. It's something people sell you that isn't true. I don't study them. Nah, Ken, you never really were. You never really were one for the sales piece. Which is what I've always appreciated. Really, always appreciated about you. Yeah, you're right, Junior. Decentralized is really not decentralized. People will argue about that. Scottish, good morning, my brother. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. The top 10% of holders own 90. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. XRP is one. I wouldn't disagree with you, but I think Stellar Lumens right now, their upside with the amount of real world tokenized assets that they're putting on the ledge, that they're putting out there right now, the amount of real world tokenized assets that they have, people flowing money in there, is much bigger. They're in the top 3. They're in the top 3. So it's gotta move, right? So let's take a look at Bitcoin, right? Oh, this is the monthly chart, right? Let's put this thing into perspective, right? Here was your last bull run. This was it right here. This was your last bull run, right? This started here in 19 and ends and we're up here at the bull run, right? So you had this channel on the monthly, right? Played off the bottom, played off the top. Once it fell out of this channel, this was your bear market, right? It fell out of this channel, it came down, it traded sideways for a little while and then fell off, right? Right here. We all lived through this period right here, right? This was right here, like when me and Selmo talk about we own XRP at 50 cents. This is what we're talking about, right? This is where we were buying, right? The majority of our spot bags, right up through here, this nasty bear market. Well, where are we now, right? You see right here, this is 2023 right here, around October, November of 2023. Here we are, right? So on the monthly, you can see we're running through roughly the same channel. We're running off the top of this channel right here, the bottom of this channel, right? So remember what I said. Once you fall out of this channel, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for your bull run. It's a wrap. It's over. If you don't believe me, we'll pull Bitcoin back even further. Like, we'll tighten this up a little bit here. Here was the bull run prior. You ran up, you fell out of the channel, boom, you just kind of traded sideways here, right? Until the next one, boom, you take off, right? So once you fall out of this channel, it's a wrap, right? So where are we right now? Let's drill down into this thing and see where we're at. Are we a bull? Are we a bear? Right? Where are we at? Where are we going? Right? You're still in bull market. You're in a bear market inside of a bull market. Now we've tested the bottom of this channel a couple times, right? We've tested it right here in November of 24. We tested it right there. You know, we've tested it right here in October of 24. We tested this thing, right? And it's held pretty strong. It's held okay, right? We're about halfway down this channel right now, right? So Bitcoin's in a situation right now where it's got to make a choice, right? Bitcoin's going to make a choice. It's either going to come back down and test the bottom of that channel, right? Or it's going to make that move to the upside, right? So we're in this 50-50 situation right now is where we're at. So when we say bull or bear, everybody's freaking out, right? And going crazy about the market because the market sucks right now, right? But I'll tell you right now that we're only halfway down this channel, right? So the next couple of months are going to be the decision points for Bitcoin. But I'm telling you, if we fall out of this channel, it's a wrap for your bull season. There's going to be no alt season. There's going to be no meme coin season. There's going to be nothing. It is over, right? It's donezo, right? Because Bitcoin's already done what it does every single bull cycle, right? What happens is what happens. You have the Bitcoin halving. You have after the halving, you have some sideways action. A year after the halving, Bitcoin sets a new all-time high, right? And then it starts to retrace a little bit, right? Well, what has Bitcoin done since its halving, right? Well, it's done exactly what Bitcoin does. It set its new all-time high. Now it's starting to retrace a little bit, right? Bitcoin has done exactly what it's done every single bull market prior to now. The problem is altcoins haven't followed the way that they usually follow in every other bull cycle to this point, right? So people would say Bitcoin halving's over. It's not over until it's proven otherwise. because Bitcoin has done exactly what it's done in every other bull cycle. It's just people are having a problem realizing that your altcoins haven't followed, right? And that's a problem with people because nobody wants to admit that, right? But we're here to admit it, right? We're here to talk about it. We're here to look at it. We're here to admit it. We're here to say altcoins have sucked over that time, right? So let's pull this thing back, right? So here's your total 3. Here's everything minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Here we are, right? You got October 2023 right here. Here's the run that Bitcoin's been on. Here's the run that your altcoins are on, since 23, right? Right here. So we got this. You literally could draw a line right here, right? And you tested the top side of this and the low side of this. But here's your run, right? Here's where we are since 2023. Well, here was your last. Look at how choppy that is, right? Look at the chop in there, right? I'm just bringing facts this morning, guys, because I think we need to all understand where we're at. So look at the chops in there, right? The chops in that chart are just crazy, right? Here's your last bull run. What don't you see? What don't you see right here? What's the difference between this bull cycle right here and the one that you're in right here? What's the difference? You don't see all of this choppiness, right? You don't see this over here in the last bull run. You don't see this, right? That's the difference. How are your altcoins going to hold up moving forward? Because it doesn't look like everybody wants to say, oh, it looks like the last bull run. We're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. We're on rinse and repeat. This is going to happen. This is going to, no, it's not. Pull the chart back. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying it doesn't look the same. Oh, this looks exactly the same as we were. Oh, this is, and I've been on here for a year now telling you, no, it doesn't look the same. Look at this bull run and look at this bull run. Do they look the same? I mean, I don't know what everybody else is looking at, but Stevie Wonder can see that them two don't look the same. Here's your last bull. Here's the bull run before this one. Here it is. You had a run up right here. Pull back, bear market. Does that look? That looks like that, but it don't look like that. Don't look like that. Timski, good morning. What's up, my brother? So I'm not here to bullshit you guys. I'm here. You don't gotta believe me. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. There's the charts, there's the numbers. You don't gotta believe me. You can argue a whole nother way. But if you're gonna argue with me, show me on the chart. Show me on the chart what you're saying. Until you can show me on the chart, I don't believe a damn thing you're saying. Because there's no retail money in here. Because who's pushing your total 3? Retail. COV19 right here. All that money. You've seen that huge push up from all that money. Who's pushing this? Retail right here. Right here. Retail. Bang, 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 bang. Institutions weren't highly invested all the way in crypto all the way back here in let's see, where are we at here? This one all the way back here in 18. Institutions were kind of invested over here in 21 and 20, but not really invested over here at that time. They weren't really, I mean, they were dipping their toe in, but they weren't really in there. institutions are right here. So people say, oh, well, institutions are only in Bitcoin and Ethereum. What's going on with that chart? What's going on with that chart? Government officials were. There was, like I said, there was some institutions that were involved there, but there wasn't a huge amount of there wasn't a huge amount of institutions that were invested prior to this bull run. But now they're here, right? So you tell me what's wrong with that chart. So yes, we're in a bull market. We showed that, right? We showed this. We're in a bull market for Bitcoin, right? Right there. Boom. There's your bull. There's your bull prior. There's your bull now. We're halfway down. We're in a bull for Bitcoin. That doesn't mean that you're in a bull market for everything, right? That doesn't mean that you're in a bull market for everything. It just means that you're in a bull market for Bitcoin right now. Your altcoins are struggling. What I'm saying to you guys is, if Bitcoin, let me sum this up for you real quick before we move on. If Bitcoin falls out of this channel right here, like it did right here, and like it did in all the prior bull runs, before your altcoins take off, you're not going to get an altcoin season. It's that simple. Why? Why can I say that with 100% confidence? Because you have a market cap right now in crypto of $3.6 trillion. And out of that $3.6 trillion, Bitcoin hold, let's just round it up. Bitcoin holds 69% of that market cap. Holds 69%. So if that 69% is not running, how does this market cap get to 4.5 trillion? It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't get there. XRP is not going to push that market cap that high. Solana's not going to push that market cap that high. Ethereum's not going to push that market cap that high. It doesn't get there. Remember how I started. It's that big wheel. It's that water wheel, right? And you got to have water pouring into that water wheel in order to make that water wheel move. And when you stop pulling water into that water wheel, and your stream gets less and less and less and less of water, that wheel doesn't move. It doesn't move. And if Bitcoin falls out of that channel and it starts to pull that water back because it's falling out of that channel, you can't make the wheel move. The wheel doesn't move. And if the wheel doesn't move, nothing moves. Nobody in the village gets water. Today's investors are spread way too thin. They're spread way too thin. They're way too thin. Depends. Ripple has some water. Ripple has some water. Solana has some water. Ethereum has some water. Ethereum has some water. Solana has some water. XRP has some water. HBAR has some water. SUI has some water. XLM has some water. Everybody has water, right? Everybody has some water to throw on this water wheel, right? Waves. Kelter says waves. Yeah, waves can make it go. So everybody has some water to throw on this water wheel, right? So, but what I'm saying to you is that water has to come. That water has to get there. That water has to flow. That water has to flow in. So I'm going to further break this down to you to say this to you, because I want to prepare you guys for this market, right? Because you guys know, like, I prepare you for what I believe is coming, where I believe the market's going, and I show you with numbers, right? These aren't me just coming off the top of my head with some some projection out there that's in la la land somewhere, right? If you don't have ETFs by big companies in this bull run, your price isn't going to perform well in the cryptocurrency market. That's just a fact. That's just a fact right now. So when we look at it, you have Bitcoin, huge ETF firms. Why is it important that the bigger the ETF firm that you're established with, the more capital you have? Because they have more money to sell that ETF to. BlackRock sells their ETF to their 21 shares holders, hedge investors, right? Fidelity, Vanguard, all them boys, right? They have a huge amount of people to sell their ETF to, right? Inside of their investment, hedge funds and things like that. So remember when I said to you earlier, XRP is going to come out with an ETF, it's Canary Capital and all this and that. They don't have a huge number of people to sell their ETF to, right? Canary Capital's ETFs are absolute trash, right? Let's just be honest. But when the 21 shares ETF comes out, that's a whole nother ballgame, right? That's a whole nother story. We're going into a whole nother level of an ETF sell for XRP when their 21 shares ETF comes out, right? Now we're going into another. Now you're talking about putting some capital in, right? Now you're talking about infusing capital into the market. Now you're talking about being able to reach your millionaires and your billionaires that are going to buy these ETFs, right? Canary Capital is not going to get it done for you. You know, it's not going to get it done. Some of these smaller ETFs, they're just not going to get it done for you. They don't have what they need to get it done. So if you don't believe me, look at HBAR's ETF. Fell flat on its face, right? Fell flat on its face. You're right. You're right. That could be the future. Scottish, that is the future. And when you look at it, they're going to start bundling these ETFs together. You're going to get a top 50. You're going to get a top 25. You're going to get a top 10. You may get a top 5 ETF, right? You're going to start bundling these things together. And then you're going to see some real capital start to flow into this market. But here's the thing. In this particular bull run right here, if your project doesn't have an ETF that's going to take off, it's probably not going to do that well. It's just that simple. 80% buying BTC, 20% buying those top, the top 4, the ETF, Scottish, the top ETFs are the ones that are being sold right now. The dollar's way up. Yeah, the dollar is running. So smash that like button. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, smash that like button if you're over there on TikTok. Keep smashing that screen. I just had to reset, so that means we ain't got enough likes over there. So just keep smashing, keep smashing. We were doing really good for a while. We're almost worth $1. Yeah, you're almost worth $1. Here's the problem: if you have $1 in your pocket, you're richer than the United States, because the United States is $38.7 trillion in debt. So if you have 1 penny in your pocket, you're actually richer than the whole country. So just think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. If you have $1 in your pocket, you're richer than the whole United States. Yeah. I don't mean to throw any salt on them wounds, but just think about that for a minute. So coming over here, we started out green this morning, but we're definitely moving to the red, right? I told you it was going to go up there and snatch some of that liquidity. It's starting at 107.7 now, Bitcoin. It'll hover here for a minute. It'll go back up to 108. It'll snatch a little bit more of that liquidity, right? And it'll come back down. It'll snatch a little bit more and come back down. We're going to play this game. We're going to play this game for weeks, man. We're literally going to play this game with Bitcoin for weeks. And here's the thing. We wouldn't be playing this game if people wouldn't be setting 100x leverage up here. So yeah, I'm bullish right now, but I'll tell you what projects I'm buying. I'm buying the projects that have ETFs that are coming out that are absolutely strong, um, and or that have a lot of real world tokenized assets coming into them. Them are the ones that I'm buying right now. I'm not really playing around with this stuff, right? With this other stuff. I'll give you an example. Let's look at Pepe. You guys know I'm a huge Pepe supporter, right? I love Pepe, right? I think Pepe is going to make a monster run right here in this market, right? I think that when we're going to have a window of meme coins, which is going to be about a month, maybe 2 months, right? Tops. That's it. That's all you're getting, right? Because there's no retail money to push it, right? So people are making decisions right now whether they go buy groceries or buy Pepe. Pepe's going to lose every time. So here's the thing. If you're up on Pepe right now, and you should be because we were buying in the bear market. If you were here on this channel, you were buying in the bear market, right? You were buying in the absolute bear market, right? If you're up on Pepe right now, you better be taking your profits. Forget Black Friday. Forget Black Friday. Buy Pepe. I'm telling you guys though, just out of pure survival mode, if you're up, let's say you're up, I don't know, let's throw a number out there, $200 on Pepe. Take that $200 out. Wait for this market to come down even further. You look at Pepe, and don't worry, guys, because I'm gonna give you guys the opportunity to come over here and look at what I'm looking at here in a minute. Let's pull Pepe for a minute because Pepe is meme coin's been around for a while. Let's pull it back on the 4 hour, right? You guys know I love the 4 hour, and then we're gonna get out of here in a minute. We're gonna look at the 4 hour chart on Pepe. Let's see here. So you're looking at the 4 hour chart on Pepe, right? Right now, you had a buy signal that got rejected right here on Pepe because it fell down even further. You're looking at 5060, right? So if you're up right now, right? You're down here at these negative levels. Negative. This is 0, -5. We're probably going to come down here around this -1 level, right? Because the market just continues to go down, right? So when we look at this and insert any meme coin, right? Insert any meme coin here, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be Pepe. It could be absolutely any meme coin, right? So you know the market says that we're coming down, right? So if you're in profit right here, right? Right here, right now. Let's say you got $200 profit. You literally could take that $200 out of the Pepe. Keep your initials in there. You could take that 200 out, right? You could wait for this thing to come down to 5055. Infuse 100 there. You could wait for it to come down to 5050. If it gets there, infuse your next 200 there. Increase your token supply. At that point, ride this thing up until you get a sell signal, overbought signal on Pepe. You literally could sell out right there. Like it's probably going to go right here, right? Like right here, 4065, right? At 5065. At 5065, you literally could sell out. There's a nasty resistance line right there. You could sell out. You could wait for this thing to come back down. 506, 505. Buy back in with just your initial and end up with more tokens than you did when you initially sold out. And you have your profit sitting on the sidelines. Gotta know how to play this game, right? Gotta know how to play this game. Because if you, let's say you bought Pepe just recently, right here, and you rolled this thing down to right here. You're literally just on that ride down, that little ride down, you left 10% of your money on table. You literally left 10% of your money on table. So let's look at it from this perspective. And you can do this with any coin. Let's say you bought here and you held on and you held on to it and you're sitting right here, right? You literally left 25% of your money sitting on the table. Just if you bought right here at what was a deal at 507, right? And you held it right there, you left 10% of your money sitting on the table. You got to know what you're doing. 90% of the so like you got to know what you're doing. So will we priced out? 90% of people will be priced out. 90% of people just can't afford to buy crypto. They're not priced. They're priced out because they can't afford to buy it, right? Inflation is so bad they can't afford to buy it. Like, it's not even that the prices are high; they just can't afford it. You look at SPX 6900 sitting at 76 cents right now. Woo! It's got a buy signal. It had a rejected buy signal right here because it kept dropping. This was last night, right? This was last night. And all the charts got a rejected buy signal. Because the market just kept falling last night, but they're all rejected. So, but that's the problem, except for Dash. Let's look at Dash. This is a project right here I love too. It's in the top 200, right? Morpho. This is that lending protocol. I love this thing. I think this thing's going to be an absolute monster if it does anything close to what Aave did. This thing's going to be a monster. But you look at Dash. Let's look at that. Look at that. Told you guys at $45. I said Dash is going to run. Look at that. This was Friday when I talked about it right here. $78% up. You've been 78% up on your money. I've talked about this right here on Friday. 78% up. Zek. Where's Zek? Talked about Zek. This I believe that this was probably Friday right here. Saturday. Friday was right here. Talked about it right here. It's been about even. But Zek's make some good moves, man. So it's out there. There's good projects out there to be had, but I'm telling you guys, tighten your bags up, man. That's the whole key. Tighten your bags up. We're in a bull run. We're still in a bull run. Until Bitcoin falls out of that channel, we're still in a bull run. We're still fine. Life is okay. Mama said life is going to be just fine. Mama said life is going to be all right. We're going to be just fine, right? What I'm telling you guys is pay attention. Pay attention to the market. Pay attention to Bitcoin. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Don't fall for this bullshit, right? Don't fall for this bullshit about we're automatically going to the moon. Don't fall for this crap that says that we're going to have an altcoin season that's going to be massive. You know who's going to have an altcoin season that's going to be massive? The people with successful ETFs. That's who's going to have an altcoin season that's going to be massive, right? That everybody else will lag way behind because there's just no retail money here. And you guys, we have to wrap our arms around that concept that people can't afford what they could have afforded before. So we got to get out of this. We got to get out of this notion that retail money's coming and it's going to flood the market. We've got to get out of this mindset that that's what's going to happen, because it's not going to happen. Listen, let me say it to you again. It's not going to happen. Retail don't have enough money to come in and flood these markets. And even if they turn on the money printer, right, like they did during the vid, right, if like they did during the vid, Let's say they turn on a money printer. What is the chances of people that are receiving that money going to put it into cryptocurrency? Car repos are at their all-time high. Credit card debt's at its all-time high. What are the chances that they're going to take a chance and buy Ethereum with that money? It's not. Retail's not coming like it used to. It's not flooding into the market like it is. So you have to finish. You have to wrap your arms around the fact that this is an institutional driven bull run. And if it's an institutional driven bull run, you better be where institutions are, or you're going to be left behind. You're going to be left behind. If you're out here investing in projects that are promising this ton of liquidity, this ton of use case, right? And the project could have the best use case in the world. And I'm not here to dog any project. It could have the best use case in the world. It could be absolutely phenomenal technology. But if there's no institutional money in it, it's going nowhere fast. You'll get a pump, but it's not going to stay. It's not going to stay. Retail's going to get in. They're going to take their profits. They're going to get the hell out because they're that broke. Get to where retail, get to where institutions are. Get to where the institutional money flow is. Get to the projects that they're putting their money in. And what do we know about where the institutions are putting their money? It's simple. Institutions are putting their money in Bitcoin. They're putting their money in Ethereum. They're putting their money in XRP. They're putting their money in Solana. They're putting their money in XLM. They're putting their money in Chainlink. They're putting their money in HBAR, and they're putting their money in AVAX. That's where the institutional money flow is. It's not in ZBEC. It's not there. It's not in Trump coin. It's not in a lot of these other projects. Ondo's another one. A lot of institutional money's flowing in Ondo. You know what I mean? You got to know where the money's going, man. BitTens Tau. They're throwing their money in BitTens Tau. Projects like that. Just follow the money. Follow the money. But with that, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with that. We're up out of here. I'm running a little late, so we're up out of here. I got to go take care of business this morning. Been a great stream. I love these streams where we can just come in and I can show you the numbers. I can show you the data. I can let you guys know where I think the market's going, where I'm putting my money at, what I'm doing in this market, and how I see this market playing itself out. Yo, this market's absolute dog shit today. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But what are you going to do? Are you going to now rebalance your portfolio where the institutions are putting money in it? Or are you going to follow this hype train that everybody else is on, and they're going to tell you that some of these projects are going to go to the moon? I don't know. Choice is yours. It's up to you. You do what you do with your money, and I'll do what I do with my money. And we'll see in about another couple months here who's really running here. So, all right, with that, we're up out of here. We'll be back at you guys on Wednesday. You guys have a great day. We're up. When you guys watch your money, look at your portfolios, make sure you're invested on what you believe in and what you want to be in, and not what people are telling you is going to run. Follow the institutional money, and don't fall for the hype. So we're out. I gotta go. Bye.